You waited all day for Wednesday evening as the Duquesne Dukes make the trek from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania to Youngstown, Ohio to face off against the Youngstown State Penguins inside the Watson and Trestle training site. Hello everyone, I'm John Ostapowitz alongside my colleague Dylan Lux. For the Penguins, they earned their first win of the 2025 campaign with a 19-10 victory against St. Francis University this past Sunday. The team also picked up its first victory since April 22nd, 2023. The offensive attack for YSU is led by the dynamic duo of Katie Grotenthaler and Claire Basinger with a combined 14 goals. However, the Dukes return to the MAC for the final time this season as they look to bounce back from a 11-10 loss to Robert Morris in the team's home opener. Duquesne's offense heavily relies on senior midfielder Mackenzie Lazinski, who leads in both goals with 7 and draw controls with 10. Dylan, of course, it's a pleasure to be broadcasting alongside you here this evening, but of course we have to take a quick deep dive into both of these teams' matchup history.
John, first win in almost 2 years has got me excited to watch these Penguins. This will be the third time these teams have met, and Duquesne leads the series 2-0, so YSU looking to get their first win against the Dukes today. Last meeting was on February 22nd of last year at Duquesne, where the Dukes came out with a 17-13 victory. You know, John, YSU is kind of feeding from that momentum that they had with that last win. They're going to look to get their second win here today and their first win against Duquesne.
Well, you talk about both of these teams, especially the Penguins and the Dukes, as they will be set to face off here momentarily, but we have to run through some of the keys for both of these teams here this evening.
And John, for YSU, it's got to be to keep taking good, clean shots. They have a great shooting percentage, over 50%, leading the Mid-American Conference at this point, and that's due to Claire Basinger and Katie Grotenthaler. They need to get the ball to those two. As you said, John, 7 goals apiece from those two. They've both scored at least 3 goals in each of their games this season, and that's led to why they are one of the best offenses in the MAC at 16 goals per game. They also want to force turnovers. They have 26 caused turnovers this year, which also leads the Mid-American Conference, so a good start in Mid-American Conference stats. And as for Duquesne, they want to force turnovers as well. They are second in the A10 in caused turnovers with 22. And, you know, the A10 has some great competition with Richmond being a top 25 team, and they definitely want to control the tempo. You know, only a 39% save percentage in their 2 games, so they want to make sure the offense stays slow, doesn't give YSU as many opportunities, and then gathering draw controls. One of the worst in the conference with only 23 in 2 games, and that's going to be some strength they're going to take away from the Gwins, who have 33, which is second in the MAC.
Well, you want to look at Youngstown State, especially here on that opening draw control. Mackenzie Lazinski was in there early as, again, just a missed call, as a call will go ensued here for Duquesne.
Just a spot foul here as Emerson will take it.
And she will. You talk about those free position opportunities going short, especially for the Dukes here, but you know, you talked about it a little bit, especially being accurate. It's all about getting it short. This is a team that loves the assisting numbers. As you can see here, tried to get it, but a nice save by the team of Youngstown State, as you saw Mackenzie Flanagan in there for YSU.
Yeah, that was a great way to, you know, collapse on that gap and kind of help out Amos. You know, she is spectacular, by the way. What an opening game for her. Her first collegiate game and only allowed 5 goals in nearly 4 quarters of play. So that's going to be a strength that they look to tonight, I think, against the Dukes.
Well, I think one of the other strengths that you want to look for, or maybe could be the question this season so far, is Megan LeBourne for the Dukes. You look at her, 38.9% save percentage. And for Youngstown State, they had Brooke Harper in there, who was averaging 29, or a little bit. It's a very career day for her. 5 goals, faced 17 shots that she allowed, but at 50% even, and Youngstown State there strikes early as they get out to a 1-0 lead over the Duquesne Dukes, and we have to watch that one more time. Quick strikeability by Youngstown State.
And way to get on the board early. We're not even 2 minutes into this contest, and YSU's already got a goal.
You'll have to look at it right there. Brooke Peck, first goal for her. Number 6 on the season now.
Yep, first goal of the game, and what a way to get it. And, you know, she's one of the names that kind of flies under the radar for the YSU offense. You know, Basinger and Grotenthaler kind of take the headline when it comes to that, but Brooke Peck can put the ball in the back of the cage, as you just said, 6th goal of the season. She's right behind those 2 girls in first.
Well, when you watch back at that play, it was all about really just finding an open lane. She found it on the far right side, just beat out Megan LeBourne, and that was all she wrote after that.
Starting off with a 1-0 lead, that's exactly what the Gwynns wanted and exactly what the Gwynns did not want. A draw control there for Duquesne, though. Nice athleticism there from the Dukes.
Well, you'll see, especially in those draw controls with Mackenzie Lazinski and Ava Kreutzer in there. Kreutzer, she knows how to get in there and win those draw controls, but it's all about settling in. When you're going up against Mackenzie Lazinski, she knows how to win those. You have to beat her early on, especially in the wing zone.
Absolutely, and that's one of those strengths that YSU was looking toward. Again, they're second in the MAC in draw controls with 33, so they want to control. They want to get draw controls, obviously. Duquesne, kind of one of their worser stats when they're 9th in the A10 in draw controls is only 22 as we get a scrap here for the ball.
As you saw there, especially for Youngstown State, Grayson Emerson for Duquesne was really just a tussle, and that's the physicality of the game of lacrosse, especially Youngstown State from the MAC and Duquesne from the A10. Those are two competitive conferences. They love to play physical. You're going to see that a lot throughout this game.
They talk about the grit, John. We're going to see it all game for 4 quarters.
Fast break opportunity for Youngstown State here.
Stahl looking to just run to the goal by herself, but stopped right around that 12-meter line.
And Stahl, the junior defender. She honestly, when you look at her play, especially in this game and some of the other ones this season, she plays at that midfield, even attacker level, even though she's listed as a defender. Lena Cox now for Youngstown State, a little bit too far past the cage, but you saw Megan LeBourne, she tried to make a play on it.
And one of the co-offensive players of MAC last week. It nearly gets another goal, and how about Brooke Peck starting off strong, John?
And just like that, you can see her back-to-back as she just knows what's working. It's hard to beat out Peck, especially when she goes on the far side, but we'll have to see here initially where she went, just beat out the defender. Cameron Counts was just too far outside of the line, and
that 5'9" frame for Brooke Peck allows her to get some vision above a lot of the players, and it's got her now tied for the most goals at YSU right now. She just hit 7. Like I said, she flies under the radar under the names of Claire Blazinger and Katie Grotenthaler, but you got to sneak Brooke Peck in there.
Well, it's all about flying under the radar. Brooke Peck has done that, but now she's really starting to shine a little bit. You put the spotlight on her. You talk about maybe shining a little bit too bright early on, but she's hitting the stride at the right time.
You know, you talked about these two, Blazinger and Grotenthaler. Now you're going to have to talk about the 3-headed monster with Peck in there. It's going to be a fun storyline for YSU this year, especially if they can keep up the wins. The Gwynns, John.
Absolutely. Duquesne now trying to answer as they're down 2 goals here early on. 11:20 to play in the first quarter.
That was a good run there. I'm not sure what the stoppage was for. Looks like it'll stay here in possession of Duquesne behind the goal.
And it will. It looks like it was a foul just outside of the crease, which means it looks like a free position opportunity will come for Duquesne. So here's the one-on-one here. Just has to beat out Amos, but can't. Stands firm as it's right back to her. As Liz Amos again
right off the wall of the cage. That was. Well, they're actually going to give her the goal, it looks like. Interesting.
And we have to see that one again. It's very interesting to see, as you'll see the referee now coming over just to see where it was initially.
Yeah,
that was too close to call.
It looked like it went off the side of the cage. No update yet, but what an interesting play there. We'll look at it again.
And you will. You'll watch, especially Duquesne here. Just picks it up, scoops it, tries and finds where to go, and
looks like it crossed the line on the inside of the cage, and that's what had it pop out. But I believe we got a 2-1 ball game, and was that?
That was Chelsea Evans, it looks like.
And it was great defensive play by her, you know, with Amos trying to clear it. She wouldn't allow it and blocked it off and got herself a clean look at the cage, put a point on the board. Got 3 points in just 4 minutes, John.
As you can see, especially 2-1 where it stands now, but for Evans, you want to talk about her 4 goals already on the season. Now she has 5 now, and assists to go with it, 7 caused turnovers.
Another draw control from Duquesne. That's what they needed to do if they wanted to win here today, and they're doing it early. They also forced a turnover. That's how they got that last goal. Defense leads to offense.
Well, for Youngstown State, the draw controls have really been the issue, especially against Lindenwood. When they lost in overtime, they just could not find an answer to Lucy Solander as Mackenzie Lazinski won that draw control, but Youngstown State would be able to get this one the other way. Duquesne just couldn't find an answer. Double team now for Duquesne. Nice cross check. Corinne Webb.
Stahl's been handling a lot of those fast breaks. You know, as you can see her kind of just streaking up the right side.
As a sophomore attacker from Dayton, Ohio, she knows where to be, especially on the side. Throughout a lot of the matches, especially this one, you'll see her working on the wings, especially a lot more, trying to get into Duquesne's attacking zone.
Got a possible opportunity here with Cox for Youngstown State. Flanagan thought she had an opening, but it was closed off quickly. This is good defense by the Dukes so far. See if they can keep it up for the rest of the possession.
A little bit of keep away by Youngstown State as Katie Grotenthaler will try to go to work as Claire Basinger now.
Keep an eye on Brooke Peck. She wants that hat trick this early, and great defense by the Dukes.
As a collision there just outside the crease. Duquesne couldn't get it to go. As you can see now on the far side, Peck was over there, but
Kreutzer had an opportunity. I thought maybe just didn't have the angle she liked.
you don't have to take the shot here early on. It's all about finding a lane. Youngstown State looking
what
for
a
one.
shot!
It was like a bounce pass right inside of the cage.
Was that an and one? I thought I saw the ref's hand go up for a flag, but I don't think it matters.
I don't think it does either. As we'll see it, Claire Basinger, it looks like, will be credited, and it will. That's her 8th goal now on the season as she reclaims the lead now for the most goals for Youngstown State.
Now this is fun. You've got a little inter team battle with Basinger, Grotenthaler, and Peck now. So that should be fun for the rest of the season.
As Youngstown State scores, we'll take a break here on the Penguin Sports Network. When we return, we'll have a lot more in store for you. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Penguin Sports Network. Youngstown State owns a 3-1 lead over the Duquesne Dukes. And when you look at it, especially on paper, Youngstown State has tried and got the offense going as much as they can, led by Brooke Peck and Claire Basinger for Youngstown State.
And those two attackers have now caused a goalie change for Duquesne. Looks like Corrigan Sweeney going to take over the duties for the Dukes. So, you know, a lot of scoring early will usually get you subbed out if you're a goalie.
Now Corrigan Sweeney makes her first appearance for the Dukes, the freshman from Elverson, Pennsylvania, in the goalkeeper position.
And honestly, the draw controls have all gone a lot of the way in the Dukes, but the Penguins' defense has stayed pretty solid so far. And, you know, having Amos in net or in cage also helps too.
Don, you're absolutely right. Duquesne 5-0. Youngstown State has yet to win a draw control. As Duquesne now will try and get something going, but looks like they may have a free position opportunity.
Looks like it'll be from that 12-meter line. We'll see what the Dukes decide to do.
Haley Reek with it. Goes short. Looking for a teammate. She got it on the far side. Defenders for Youngstown State standing tall. A little bit high. Did she get it? Go off the backside. Looking to cut inside. Youngstown State's defensive zone.
Thought she had something. Nice find inside.
Well, the cross check by Youngstown State, a little bit all for naught, but the cause turnover for Youngstown State. Will they be able to scoop it up? They will. Go the other way. Duquesne looks to make a stop. No one's home. She loses her stick.
Great defense by the Gwins, and it nearly led to some offense there. We'll see if this possession yields points for the Gwins as well. Up 3-1 already, and no signs of backing down.
Sammy Drew with it for Youngstown State. Gets it to Jenna Cook. A little bit of passing. Youngstown State, they're trying to especially get their assist numbers underway. They only have 6 total assists this season compared to their opponents' 11.
Yeah, when you have a lot of great scorers and a lot of free position goals. Nice move by Lena Cox. Can she get all the way? Not quite. Great save there by the newcomer Sweeney.
Absolutely. You talk about freshman impact. Sweeney already in here early on trying to make a stop, and she did right there.
And that's why you put her in a goalkeeper. You know, a fresh change could be exactly what you need if you're a team that's struggling. And that was their first stop of the day, so that's good for Duquesne, as they might get some points out of it too.
We were looking for Duquesne there. Corinne Webb was one-on-one. If she were to beat out Youngstown State, she could have gotten an easy goal there for the Dukes. There's a double team by Youngstown State. One-on-one there. Lane closes for Duquesne.
Amos standing tall. She looks calm in the goal for being a freshman. And another forced turnover by Youngstown State. This defense has been concrete so far. Lena Cox has it, looking for a fast break opportunity. It's 3-on-4. See if it goes anywhere.
We talk about the speed on Lena Cox. Here's the one-on-one opportunity for Youngstown State on the far side. Ava Kreutzer was in there.
Another great save by Sweeney, and that's 2 already, so already miles better than what we have seen from Duquesne.
When you look at Duquesne and the statistical margin, you look at they have 22 goals. Their offense is producing at a high level, especially over 2 matches. Then you look at their defense, especially Megan LeBourne was in there, had a really an off 2 matches, and now you have Corgan Sweeney filling in. She's trying to do as much as she can, but this defense for Duquesne, they know what's up. They know how to get in there. You see the double teams, especially by Duquesne. It's all about finding those opportunities here early on.
Absolutely. You talked about their solid start on offense with 22 goals in 2 games, and that really just speaks to Youngstown State's terrific start as well, with 16 goals per game in their 2 games. So a total of 32 goals, a solid start to the season for them.
Duquesne trying to get a solid start here.
And they do.
And they do. Just like that, we have to see that, especially she had that one-on-one opportunity working against Liz Amos, but just a little bit too much. You saw her go low, and Duquesne, they're trying to figure out how to beat Liz Amos.
The attacking middle gets the goal, and nicely done by the senior.
And Haley Reek, she's raking it in right now as she's helping Duquesne now chip into this lead. 3-2, Youngstown State leads by 1 goal here, 5:28 to go in the first quarter.
Been a bit of a chaotic first quarter, you know. We had 3 goals for Youngstown State right off the bat, a lot of forced turnovers, and, you know, there's solid defense being played, but there's also, I mean, we got 5 goals in the first 10 minutes.
When you look at the save margin, it's 2-1 right now. Duquesne has that by 1. That's just showing you it's all about the efficiency. All the shots and all of the shots on goal that go in land in there. 3-2, a combined 5 goals now by both of these teams.
And another draw control goes in the favor of Duquesne. If Youngstown State can ever get their draw control, or they'd probably put some more points on the board, but Duquesne's done a great job of keeping that in pace, which is exactly how they're going to win this game.
Well, for Youngstown State, that was the Achilles against Lindenwood. St. Francis, they were able to right that ship, but now they have yet to win a draw control 6-0 in favor of the Duquesne Dukes.
But a solid defense also being played. There's a cause turnover there, and out and running once again. Ooh! And tough foul there as Sheridan hits the deck.
And Sheridan again, huge presence here for Youngstown State in that midfielder defensive position, especially playing a key role as defender. But you see her just going in there making plays. 2-on-1, it doesn't matter, but it's all about just, again, too much. Solid cross-check, though, by Hannah Puella for Duquesne, but just a little bit too much when you try to make plays. She's got to be poised, calm down just a little bit.
Absolutely. We're still early in this game, so it could easily just be, a little early game jitters, but they'll season out. We've seen a pretty relatively clean game so far, so we'll see if that continues.
Molly Sheridan now for Youngstown State, trying to find an open lane. 2-on-1 here, can't give it up to Duquesne as she has a nice pass there on the far side.
Youngstown State with a player up now, so could mean a goal opportunity for the Gwins if they utilize it right.
Well, they called that yellow card on Hannah Puella for Duquesne. Youngstown State, they really find success in power play opportunities. They're looking for that same fortune here.
Power play opportunities and free play opportunities. A lot of goals come there for Youngstown State, as they do with any team. I mean, any team looks to get woman-ups goals or goals on free position opportunities. But there's a turnover as Duquesne now heading back toward their cage.
Fast break now for Duquesne. Nice pass, looking for a one-on-one. Two defenders back. For Youngstown State, though, is a save by Liz Amos.
Great save by Amos.
Well, that shot was high by Duquesne, and she anticipated it that way as well. She put that stick right up in the air and got it right where it needed to go. Youngstown State now retreating just a little bit to the far side.
Quick opportunity. That was Hoffman's chance there if she wanted it. Didn't quite have the angle she wanted. Still a woman up for the next minute for Youngstown State. We'll see if they can take advantage with 60 seconds on the shot clock.
And Youngstown State, when you look at the clear opportunities, 7-8. Duquesne is perfect, though, 4 for 4. Lena Cox now looking for it.
Another underrated scorer on this team. She's already got a co-offensive player of the week under her belt, and there's just a missed shot.
Looks like it was Sammy Drew for Youngstown State.
YSU still in possession. A nice
Trying
look
to
inside,
look
and it goes. Kreutzer. Nicely done. Nice pass by Cox, and finished it off.
Well, she found the right place at the right time. Just for a second there, we thought it was out of play. Lena Cox got it, found her on the far side, and just look at this goal right here. Just a nice play, just a soft little pass there by Ava Kreutzer. Gets the number every time.
She led with her eyes to that left side of the goal just to come back to the right, and beautifully done. Found the back of the cage, and like I said, nice assist there for Cox. As like we were talking about it earlier, they want to get their assist numbers up, and that's a good way to do it is by getting assists. So took advantage of that woman up opportunity, get the lead back to 2. And now see if you can win your first draw control.
Well, that's the hope, especially for Youngstown State. If you win one, your offense has the opportunity to go down, maybe score some more, make it a 3-goal differential. But for Duquesne, they're doing it right, especially with the draw controls. It's all about that defense that has to step up just a little bit. Don't count Duquesne out yet again. There's 3 more quarters to play, 2:55 remaining. You're looking for a very entertaining match here.
Yeah, and they're doing everything right, like you said, when it comes to that, as they looks like they control again.
Youngstown State still looking for their first.
For the ball.
As it will go for Youngstown State, who looks like will win their first draw control.
And now the offense might be heating up again, so this is a good opportunity for the Gwins.
Look at the defensive coverage for Duquesne. You can see a lot of backs down deep trying to protect their defensive zone. But Youngstown State now, you can see them really sitting and waiting, allowing that defense to develop and trying to cut through. That's what they love to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, take the right shot and don't force an opportunity. So they're just waiting for the right opportunity to come up, and it's worked so far. They got 4 girls already, looking for a 5th here with 2 minutes to go in the first. Cox trying to make a move around a defender, couldn't quite get the angle. Duquesne's doing a solid job of defending, closing off any gaps.
Emma Hoffman looked like she had an opportunity. Too many defenders back for Duquesne, though.
And there's Peck looking for her first quarter hat trick. Wasn't there that time. We'll see if she can make a run, though. Has some space.
As the defensive coverage just comes in.
And great coverage by YSU, able to get that back. That's Basinger.
Lena Cox now trying to beat out the defender for Duquesne. Does she get it? She does
quite.
not.
12 seconds on the shot clock now. So YSU, if they have the ball, got to go quick. Here goes Brooke Peck.
7 seconds to make a play.
Not there. And I believe that'll be a turnover.
It will be a shot clock violation here as it goes 0.
Great defense by Duquesne. That's a huge momentum shift, and I mean that's tough for Youngstown State as they had their 90 seconds and didn't even put the ball in the back of the cage like they wanted. So Duquesne going to get a big opportunity here with the last possession, or they're hoping to be the last possession of the first quarter.
Well, that was a big credit to Duquesne's defense. As you saw, especially on your screen there, that defensive coverage was very good. They had nowhere to go for Youngstown State, but they just had no choice but to let the clock expire. No open shots. Don't force it, because that's a quick turnover.
Yeah, no shots on goal in that possession either. That was another good point, John. So that's a good momentum boost for the Dukes. See how they utilize it. 24 seconds and counting.
It looks like a call will be made here inside. Another free position opportunity coming for Duquesne.
Yeah, and this one will be at the 8-meter line, so this one's most likely going to be a shot, so we'll see if Duquesne can get on the board right at the end of the first quarter.
Free position shots already for Duquesne. They're going to go short, though.
Great defense by YSU.
There's a one-on-one opportunity for Duquesne, but the defense absolutely just came in for Youngstown State. Had to put Duquesne on skates as they're looking here a little bit too high for Duquesne, as that one will sail outside of the X.
And that will most likely end the first quarter. And you can see all the girls for Youngstown State were ecstatic about that defensive possession, and they should be.
Youngstown State leads 4-2 over the Duquesne Dukes. We'll be back here only on the Penguin Sports Network. "4-2 is the score where it stands here inside the Watts. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. When you look at the numbers, especially in the goals, 3 separate players have scored for Youngstown State. Brooke Peck leads with 2 goals. That is a match high here this evening. Claire Basinger has 1, followed by Ava Kreutzer. But for Duquesne, Haley Reek and Chelsea Evans leading up the scoring column on their behalf.
And, you know, it looked like YSU's offense kind of had a slow start to the game, but well, they scored 3 goals early, but, in the rest of that first quarter only had 1 goal. But they're right on pace to that average of 16 goals a game, which leads the max. So they're right on pace. They're doing everything they need to. They get some more draw control wins. I think that'll lead to some more goals. That's probably their biggest downfall so far, but only let up 2 goals in that first quarter. I think the Gwins have done a solid job, and if you're Duquesne, just got to find some more opportunities when it comes to putting the ball in the back of the cage. Defense has been decent, and they're winning a lot of draw controls, but once they put in Sweeney, it seemed like that defense got a step up, a little burst of energy. So I think if they keep doing what they're doing on defense, it'll work, but definitely keep winning the draw controls and find something that works on the offensive end.
I think for Youngstown State, they've done a great job of eliminating Mackenzie Lazinski, at least in the scoring column, draw controls. She's having a phenomenal evening here inside the Watts.
Another draw control win from Duquesne, and they're gonna have another offensive possession to start out the second quarter. Not a lot of Dukes up there yet for Duquesne. They're trying to get the rest of their offense there.
It's all about rallying as well. No one really back in there deep, but they're looking for maybe an offensive style that will allow really that Youngstown defense to stifle themselves. But it's been a tough outing, at least here. We're looking here in the second quarter for Duquesne to put a little bit more scoring on the board, 4-2. Youngstown State leads by 2. Duquesne looking to cut that deficit, and they cut it down to 1 now. How about that? Great opportunity for Duquesne to cut it. They found the right stuff at the right time. 4-3 is where it stands. Now look here, especially on this replay. Youngstown State just could not find the answer. It's the passing and the facilitating, especially there by Duquesne.
Yeah, Corinne Webb just able to split that defense of the Gwins and able to get herself on the board, which was in a solid goal. Found herself right past Amos and cuts the lead to 1, as you said, John.
Corinne Webb now second for her on the season. Just an unassisted goal for her. Found the right opportunity. Just beat out Liz Amos there.
Yeah, that was pretty much a one-on-one after she split the defense. And yeah, one-on-one opportunities are tough for goalies. And another draw control for Duquesne. YSU might be able to get a handle on it, and they do.
Well, you can't call it yet until it's in the stick. Youngstown State was able to win that one. Duquesne had a great effort, but you'll see now this will go in the way for Youngstown State.
I did speak too soon there, but we might get a yellow card here. We'll see. A stoppage of play nonetheless, so we'll see if anything comes of it.
Looks like potentially that foul might have been on Megan Graff of Youngstown State, as they look to talk this one over.
And Grotenthaler has the ball right now, so we'll see.
That's what it was originally, but they were to switch it to Mia Piaquidio, who was called on that one. I was going to say, for a minute there, it looked like Youngstown State was not in there, but on the stat sheet for a minute, it was credited with Youngstown State, but that has been since reversed. Going the way of Duquesne, as Youngstown State will now start with a fresh opportunity. Lena Cox now.
And they could use a goal, John. I mean, they do not want to get this back to a tie game. All the momentum is really shifted toward the Dukes after those quick 3 goals for Youngstown State. They need to put one in the back of the cage and get their confidence back up. Goes Grotenthaler, nothing there.
Lena Cox now on the far side, trying to find someone wide open, looks to cut inside the defense, but that lane closes.
Still 30 seconds to go on the shot clock. The stoppage here looks like it'll be a free position foul, most likely.
So this will go in the way of Youngstown State now. Their first free position opportunity for them now.
And YSU does well in these free position opportunities, so we'll see if it continues. Looking to get one past Sweeney.
Brooke Peck now looks for it, and she gets it on the far side of the cage. Brooke Peck, why not get a hat trick? Our hats off, especially here up outside of the booth. What a play.
12:46 to go in the second quarter, and Brooke Peck's already got her 3rd goal of the game. Have a game, young lady. Nice shot, top right of the cage. Found it right past Sweeney, and now YSU gets back on the board, and they needed it. They needed it. The momentum was definitely shifting toward the Dukes, but Brooke Peck says, I got it.
Well, those free position opportunities are very tough, especially for your goalie, to try and find where that player is going, especially the attacker or whoever gets that. But the main issue is it's tough to beat out somebody who knows where to go. She found just the far side. That feels like it really is the weakness, especially for Sweeney, but this is her first opportunity in the back of the cage for Duquesne. She's only going to get better and learn a lot more as this match goes on.
You know, we talked about in the Lindenwood match, you see a lot of veteran plays from these sophomores and freshmen. I mean, Grotenthaler and Basinger, great players as well as Peck, obviously. And now you even have Amison as a freshman. Her first collegiate game was just the other day. So it's a lot. You look for a lot of veteran plays from these younger players, and as you said, Brooke Peck knows where to put it, and she's only a sophomore. She's only going to get better. But as you were saying, John, those one-on-one opportunities, it's like a penalty kick in soccer. I mean, you're going one-on-one. It's some of the hardest stuff to defend, and that's why YSU has so many unassisted goals. They get a lot of free position opportunities, or they score on their free position opportunities, which has helped them get a 16-goal-per-game mark so far this season.
Well, Dylan, when you look at it, 26 unassisted goals is a lot, especially for Youngstown State when this offense is riding red hot. It's tough to stop that when you have players that do not need to assist and can just go one-on-one and beat you that way.
Absolutely. You know, 32 goals and 26 of them are unassisted. That's a lot of playmakers on your team. Or, well, I guess I should say playmakers in one-on-one opportunities. So you got a lot of ISO ball going on at Youngstown State, and it is working. It is definitely working.
Pass foul was called on Mackenzie Flanagan for YSU.
Nice defensive play. Wasn't able to scoop it up, and Duquesne will keep the possession with under 30 seconds on the shot clock. Not a lot of defenders back for YSU, though. They were able to close the gap, and now they're behind the cage.
Well, for Youngstown State, that's okay if your defenders aren't back. You're hoping that a little bit more reinforcements come, as Youngstown State was looking for a cause turnover. Couldn't, as you can see, Duquesne, Haley Reek.
And Reek nearly got her second goal of the day there. Nice move. What a play.
Duquesne just finds the weakness there, as you can see. Number 13, Emma Raines, it looks like, was credited with that one for Duquesne, but we'll see officially who it was. On the far side, gets it to Duquesne, Mia Piaquidio, but just inside Emma Raines. Goes to work, assisted by Mia Piaquidio.
And a nice half spin there, just able to get the defense off of her, gets enough space, and then finds enough space in the top left corner of the cage. Gets them back to a 1-point deficit early in the second quarter.
Dylan, that is now the fourth player for Duquesne who has scored. Corinne Webb, Haley Reek, along with Emma Raines now, and Evans as well, rounding out the top four.
You know, when you have a lot of team or players on your team that can score, it's a lot of versatility, and that's good to have. You know, 4 goals from 4 players. So spreading the ball around for sure.
Well, we talked about it here early on in the broadcast.
Another draw control
Lazinski was
Duquesne.
one that really leads a lot and has a lot of offensive attack, but they were hoping to get a lot more players involved. They do here. 4 different players score, as Youngstown State now will go the other way, especially with Mackenzie Flanagan leading the way.
And now Peck has obviously one of the better scorers on this Youngstown State team. They're going to look to get her as many opportunities as possible. She'd score 10 goals if she wanted, John.
Dylan, you're absolutely right, but when you look at the draw controls, Ava Kreutzer for Youngstown State was able to win that one, followed by a good clear attempt. Lena Cox now a little bit too far, but did she get it?
I believe this might be a free position as well. Foul really close in there by the cage. It was a nice look by Cox, but just a little too aggressive. So now an opportunity for Youngstown State.
It's really all about being mindful where the crease is. I know the defense a lot of the times can get carried away.
One of the better scorers for Youngstown State. Grotenthaler are going to take the opportunity here.
Here's Grotenthaler now, one-on-one, a little bit too far high. Duquesne will rejoice now as Youngstown State will retain it.
And who else but Peck looking for her 4th goal of the day. They're double teaming her now. They're not going to make it easy.
And that one was too high. Tried to scoop up the ground ball to go in the favor of Youngstown State, but couldn't, as they'll call that one. And that will go in the favor for, it looks like, Youngstown State.
Yeah, the bench is pretty excited, so it must be in favor of the Gwins.
Well, it was called a foul on Mackenzie Lazinski for Duquesne. 5-4 is where it stands. 10:05 here in the second quarter.
And you know, it's funny. You see, they have a very accurate shot. Youngstown State does, and today we've seen a lot of shots go wide of the net, like of the cage. So that's interesting that their shots haven't really been on goal today. They'll improve that most likely by the end of it, but just an interesting start for the Gwins. They have 7 on goal to this point, so very accurate when they get on goal.
Katie Grotenthaler now tried to cut the defender. She did through the seam there.
And I believe they called that on Grotenthaler.
And when you go back to that foul, especially you look at it, when you try and get through 2 defenders like that, it is tough, especially a little bit too much contact. They're going to call that 100% of the
Yep,
time.
you're gonna draw some fouls if you try to get aggressive like that. But a great defensive possession, and they get the ball right back, though. So another opportunity here for Youngstown State with a fresh shot clock.
And for Duquesne, that has been their Achilles heel, especially the 2 matches they've had against MAC opponents. Akron going to overtime, losing at home on the Bluff against Robert Morris. But it's been those really crucial errors that have taken these one-score games.
A nice defense there by Duquesne. Kind of an errant pass, and it's going to be an opportunity for Duquesne.
And Haley Reek is really the cause turnover reaper. She knows where to go. She will really rake it in and find the opportunities and take it away.
Yeah, Scanlon had that last one, so that was a nice move by her just to anticipate the pass and pick it off. And now Duquesne gets there an opportunity to tie the game here in the second quarter.
Far side, Mia Piaquidio.
Nice
as they
pass
go
inside. Just a bad shot because it was there. Nice pass.
Felt like we were in sync on that one. We said it at the same exact time. We knew where that was trying to go, especially for Duquesne. That's their shot. Far side, especially now they have this free position opportunity. Watch Corinne Webb here. This is a player to watch, especially here on these free positions. She knows how to capitalize, but how about that save there by Liz Amos?
Way to get in the right position. I mean, that's what you talk about when you think veteran plays from younger players. That was just perfect positioning by Amos to stop that goal. And those free position opportunities are not easy to stop. And she went one-on-one with it and stopped it.
So over the past 2 matches now, she has 7 saves, 5 against St. Francis and 2 here this evening.
And you can see Rob Harris was not happy with that last turnover. That was pretty blatant, just stepped on the line there and turned it over. Great look inside.
Megan McGrath. Clear attempt by Duquesne was right on the money.
And another turnover for Youngstown State, just not able to keep possession of the ball. And now Duquesne going to slow it down, which is what they need to do. I mean, Youngstown State can put up points in a hurry, so if they control the tempo, they control the game.
Dylan, you're absolutely right. So far, it's been Youngstown State that has really controlled the time of possession. They want to really get back into this game. They have to control that margin. Youngstown State is really just allowing their offense to just run around, especially right here, right now. Picks up the ground ball off of the turnover, and they'll go the other way. Duquesne has struggled with turnovers that are not caused.
Yeah, Bustamante with a great touch there, yeah. But you're absolutely right, John. I mean, they've struggled with turnovers, and both teams have today.
Turnovers now, Duquesne has 11 compared to Youngstown State 6.
A lot of those turnovers, I feel like, came on the last couple of possessions for Youngstown State. A lot of turnovers very recently, but they've done a good job forcing turnovers. The Gwins have as well.
Lena Cox now. Brooke Peck was trying to feed it on the far side, couldn't find anyone. Now here's the one-on-one here with Uris.
And they keep trying to find Peck, and as they should. I mean, she's a great scorer. We're not able to see a lot of opportunities since those first 3 goals.
Uris again gets it to Grotenthaler. Grotenthaler high. That one's a little bit too far right as she hit the ground relatively hard on that one.
That might have been a foul, as you said, John. She hit the ground hard, so another opportunity here for Youngstown State. We'll see it again.
And you'll see there Duquesne just a little bit too much on the cross check. Addison Scanlon just too much in there.
We talked about the aggressiveness, John. It can get you into trouble. We'll see how much trouble.
Grotenthaler now takes a large swing. That one saved by Sweeney.
Sweeney's come in and done pretty spectacular job. Only allowed 2 goals since she's been in. Just a much better margin for Duquesne.
Well, you talk about the expression any given day. She comes in here, really didn't start, just came in at an unopportune time, comes in, you're expected to make plays, and she's been doing that for Duquesne.
Amos was out of goal there for a second. I thought Duquesne had a wide open opportunity, but Youngstown State able to recover on defense and force a shot off goal. And another tough foul there. I believe that was on Youngstown State, Bustamante.
And it was on Bustamante, but again, a lot of wide shots here for Duquesne. 5-4 is where it stands as we almost hit the 5-minute mark here in the second quarter.
Yeah, talked about the offensive, strong offense from Youngstown State in the second quarter. It's been nearly, neutralized by the Dukes in this quarter. Great defense by them, and they're looking to tie it up here with another foul from Youngstown State, I believe. And it'll be a free position opportunity. Perfect chance for the Dukes to get back in this game.
Youngstown State just crucial errors here. Back-to-back fouls will now force the free position opportunity for Duquesne, who's just going on the far side as Liz Amos again was there, but that shot was a little bit too far off the mark.
And Youngstown State causes another turnover. When a foul was called, now they are playing advantage and looking to score quick.
Ava Kreutzer now has one defender to beat. Can she beat her out?
Didn't have the angle. Great defense by Duquesne.
But she had the better assist there, especially to Katie Grotenthaler, but couldn't connect.
A lot of whistles being blown, John.
You're absolutely right, Dylan. And look at this right here, David and Goliath. You look at Lena Cox just going up against really Corrigan Sweeney, who is a very massive opponent to go up against, standing tall against Lena Cox, as you saw right there.
6 foot tall freshman, John. So that's David versus Goliath. That works very well.
Well, Lena Cox just under 5 foot. The 4'11" range. I mean, when you're going up against a 6 foot goalkeeper,
that's where the stick comes into play, John. Gets a couple extra feet to you.
Beat them high, beat them low. Youngstown State now on the far side. Lena Cox looking to beat past the defender. Her speed is unmatched against Duquesne.
And that's where and just because she's small doesn't mean she can't put the ball in the back of the cage. She is a great scorer. And another turnover by Youngstown State. Control, and still not controlled, and there's a foul called now.
Uris was knocked down there by Duquesne.
We're going to be upwards of almost 20 turnovers total in this first half. Just not a lot of control from either side, to be honest.
13 now for Duquesne compared to Youngstown State's 6. Youngstown State has 7 caused turnovers compared to Duquesne's 4.
They've done a nice job of it. And you can hear Rob Harris just getting into his team. That's how you make winners.
He really is voicing his opinion. You talk about him moving up from D2, especially to D1, how big of a switch that can be. But Lena Cox now on the free position opportunity.
Talk about big differences. Let's go Lena Cox versus Sweeney, and a great save by Sweeney. Again.
We saw Lena Cox there take the swing.
Multiple opportunities for Youngstown State in free positions, and they have not done well with them. Sweeney has made it tough on them. 6 foot tall. That's definitely going to cause some problems, and it has for Youngstown State. Sweeney been spectacular so far.
See Youngstown State now trying to lock up the defensive side and the offensive side for Duquesne. When you look at the scoring margin here in the second quarter, the Dukes lead 2-1.
Yeah, low-scoring quarter from the Penguins. I mean, obviously Duquesne only had 2 in that first quarter as well, but they're staying on pace. Youngstown State just had a very down quarter. Many opportunities, just not finding the back of the cage.
It's all about trying to make those opportunities as the referees now will talk it over. Foul now on Molly Sheridan for Youngstown State. Looks like they could potentially be talking about what will be handed out, be a green or a yellow, to see based on the severity of the foul.
looks like it'll stay green. I don't see anybody coming toward the bench. So Duquesne will play it from the 12-meter mark.
Duquesne now, great defense by Youngstown State.
Great defense. They had an opportunity there, but just double-teamed.
Trying to scoop up the ground ball here, but couldn't.
I think that was Megan Marco that got absolutely swarmed by the Gwins.
She did. Chelsea Evans was there trying to make a play as well, but this defense for Youngstown State, 3 defenders now swarming towards the far side. Could leave Evans open, as that hole will close relatively quickly.
Quick recovery speed by Youngstown State. They've been all over this possession. 26 seconds on the shot clock. Nice move.
Far side again. Foul will be called.
That was a nice move by Evans there. She nearly had her second goal of the day. And this will be a free position foul yet again.
When you look at Evans, she's one of those players that know, especially with these opportunities, where to go when you're a junior midfielder now. This one-on-one working against the freshman, you want to try and make this play. And Evans will get the thumbs up as she now has her second goal in this contest. And what a great way to put Duquesne now all tied up here inside the Watts.
And a nice equalizer. These free position goals haven't been very free for either side today, so to score on one of those, it's a nice way to equalize it. With only 1:13 in the second quarter left, and we've only got a minute left in the first half here, John. That's some nice momentum moving into halftime for Duquesne. We'll see if Youngstown State can answer it in this 93 seconds we've got, or not 93, excuse me, in this 73 seconds we've got left. But we'll call a timeout here.
And we will. We'll be right back to talk about, we're all tied up though here. 5-5 is where it stands. We'll be right back on the Penguin Sports Network. We're all tied up here in Youngstown, Ohio, 5-5. When you look at the statistical numbers, especially for both of these teams, it's really been the amount of shots that have been put up here this evening. Youngstown State has 15 compared to Duquesne's 9. Shots on goal, 10-8. Both teams relatively close in that margin. As you can see, 5 goals apiece, a combined 10 goals now. Both offense clicking here early on.
And a bit of a slower quarter for Youngstown State's offense. Only scored 1 goal this quarter, and Duquesne's put up 3. So a nice quarter for the Dukes to get back in this ball game. And it's fun, John. I feel like every time I'm up in the booth with you, we get to watch a heck of a ball game.
We do, and it's all about excitement. And for Youngstown State, their excitement has really come from the free position opportunities. They've had 4 of them here in just the second quarter, all of them coming exclusively for here. But one of the other really points you want to look at is really the draw controls. Youngstown State has struggled in that margin. Duquesne has really shined.
That's exactly where I was going to, John. Coming into this game, you could have convinced me it was going to be the other way around, but yeah, not this way. 33 for YSU coming into this, and 23 for Duquesne coming into this one, and it's just been all Duquesne, as we say it. And Youngstown State gets their 4th of the day, but it's still 8-4 in favor of Duquesne for draw controls, and now YSU got 60 seconds to find some scoring right before the half and find some momentum. Lost the ball there, and another turnover for Youngstown State. Now Duquesne has an opportunity, under 50 seconds.
Dylan, at the beginning of the season, Coach Harris really talked about how he wanted this defense to cause more turnovers, win the draw controls as well, and scoop up a lot of ground balls. When you look at it, really the opponents have outscored Youngstown State in ground balls as well as really in that cause turnover category. Youngstown State only leads by 4, 26-22 overall, and their opponents have now out-draw controlled them throughout 3 of their matches.
Youngstown State's done a good job forcing turnovers today. They have 7 caused turnovers on the day. Duquesne has 5, but 13 turnovers total for the Dukes and 7 for the Penguins. Not a winning formula, but that certainly is.
Dylan, you're absolutely right on the money. The winning formula for Duquesne, they're finding what works when, especially now with only a couple seconds to go here in the second quarter, they find what really works. Addison Scanlon now for Duquesne off the assist by Mackenzie Lazinski now. As you can see how fired up they are here this evening.
A nice assisted goal, and Duquesne has just completely flipped the script in this quarter, scoring 4 goals, another assisted goal, mind you. I mean, Addison Scanlon found the back of the cage, but a nice pass by Lazinski gets the Dukes on top with 4.4 to go, so a huge momentum shift for Duquesne, and Youngstown State's kind of reeling right now. Only 1 goal this quarter and allowing 4.
That is now the 5th player now for Duquesne that has scored in this contest in just the first half of play.
A lot of versatility.
Well, you have to give credit to Youngstown State. They have shut down especially the key player for the Duquesne Dukes, but we'll talk about that more. Of course, we head into halftime. We'll be back with stats, highlights, and so much more when we return right here in Youngstown, Ohio. In that second quarter, it was all Duquesne as they lead by 1 goal here at halftime. What a game it's been for Duquesne to fight back against adversity against Youngstown State, and what a play, especially by 5 different players scoring in that first half.
A lot of versatility from the Dukes there. And as you can see, they've been pretty accurate. 9 shots on goal to 6 goals, and 3 of them have been assists. Youngstown State kind of going with the opposite formula. They have 10 shots on goal, only half of them have gone. They only have 1 assisted goal today. Draw controls have been all in the favor of Duquesne, 9-4. And ground balls have gone with Youngstown State, as well as turnovers. Only 7 from Youngstown State, but they seem to be coming at crucial times, and Duquesne's capitalized on a lot of them, John.
Yeah, Dylan, when you look at the capitalization by both of these offense, we talked about it a little bit. It's all about trying to find what works and what doesn't. Both of these offenses are very young. A lot of underclassmen, not a lot of upperclassmen make up both of these rosters. But when you look at the back of the cage, you have 2 freshman goalkeepers going head-to-head here, and it's really been Corgan Sweeney for Duquesne leading the way with 5 saves, over 70% save percentage. She has really stood out, and when you look at her, especially in her high school career, she won the 2023 PIAA State and District 1 Championship. So it's all about taking that high school momentum, translating it to the collegiate level. She has done so, not to mention her mother, Dawn, as well as her sister, Mariah, played lacrosse at University of Michigan, while her mother played at Penn State in basketball. So a lot of athleticism in that family for Sweeney.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the 6-foot frame as well, that helps too, but yeah, if you're the Dukes, you've been thinking, where have you been all my life? They allowed 3 goals early in the first quarter, and then Sweeney comes in and just does the Dikembe Mutombo. She has been spectacular. As you said, over 70% save percentages, only allowed 3 goals and saved 5 of them. So beautifully done by her, and that's what's kept them in this game, and that's what's propelled them to a lead. Solid defense led to solid offense, John.
And Dylan, one of the other players, it has really been that goalkeeper matchup. You saw there just a little bit in the back of the cage for Youngstown State. You're going to see her right here, Liz Amos for YSU. She has 3 saves here. She had that opportunity against St. Francis just like Sweeney did, coming in on the tail end of the match and just coming in and making plays. Although Amos has 1 more game under her belt over Sweeney, it's all about learning, and you're going to see that especially in this one, just progressively, both of these keepers getting better as it goes on.
Absolutely, John. And that's what we're going to see a lot of in this game is a goalkeeper matchup. But it's been pretty even so far, but we'll see if that continues.
You talk about the even matchups, we'll talk about that and a lot more when we return right here on the Penguin Sports Network. with moments away from the second half here inside the Watts. Both of these two teams have a lot of keys that they can really focus on coming out of the locker room, especially this offensive onslaught that has ensued with 11 total goals. Dylan, can you talk about some of the keys, especially for Youngstown State and Duquesne, that they can work on now coming out of that locker room?
For YSU, John, it's going to be get that offense in order. They have one of the better offenses in the conference of the MAC, and they need to utilize it coming into this second half. As for Duquesne, I would say probably keep doing what you're doing. I mean, a lot of draw controls have gone in your favor. Cut back on the turnovers would be my biggest thing, John.
Dylan, you're absolutely right. And for both of these teams, they have been battle-tested, especially for Youngstown State, going against a very strong opponent in Lindenwood, going against St. Francis, who, again, is a team that also has to deal with a lot, as well as Duquesne, who is from the A-10. You have to go up against Richmond, who's a top 25 team. George Washington is also undefeated this season. So you go up against a lot of those opponents. You kind of know what to expect, especially with an offensive battle. A lot of those teams can put up a lot of points and score on you very quickly.
Yeah, you know Youngstown State can put up 19 points against St. Francis in that 19-10 victory. Rob Harris's first as a collegiate or as a D1 coach here for Youngstown State. So they were kind of riding the wave coming off of that first quarter of that last win and just cooled off a lot in that second quarter. So looking to get the offense back on track right here with the Gwynns, with Grotenthaler.
Yeah, Grotenthaler is really one of those players Youngstown State has relied on, especially Brooke Peck, who has been silent. Sammy Drew was there for Youngstown State, as looks like a foul will be called.
It'll be a free position opportunity here for the Gwynns and Sammy Drew. Big opportunity for the Gwynns to put a point on the board before we even hit 60 seconds gone in the second half.
Sammy Drew, 5'8" freshman, looking for her first goal, knocked out as Duquesne will try and scoop it up, as that will be saved.
Spectacular defense again. YSU just can't break the barrier. I mean, they had a goal early in that second quarter and then just could not. I mean, it seems like there's a net in front of the net, John. I mean, they just can't break the ice, but they got an opportunity here.
And for Duquesne, that net in front of the net has really been the turnovers. Just crucial mistakes really going in favor of Youngstown State, but no capitalization as of yet for YSU.
Absolutely, John. They've now got 14 turnovers in this game as compared to YSU's 8, which isn't spectacular, but definitely has a little bit more control of the ball. And Youngstown State needs to start turning these turnovers into points if they want to get back in the lead.
Well, for Duquesne, when you have double-digit turnovers, that really starts the question of all about cradling, keeping it together, cats in the cradle, as they say, trying to make sure that no one can disrupt or even your own crucial mistakes.
And John, double-digit turnovers is one thing. Double-digit turnovers in the first half is a whole other thing. I mean, you're on pace for 20 turnovers in a game, and that's not going to be winning lacrosse right now. It has been so far, but if Youngstown State can start capitalizing, it definitely will not be. 30 seconds on the shot clock here for the Gwynns. Nearly a turnover, but still in possession of the Penguins.
Jenna Cook for YSU will get it to Grotenthaler. As Lena Cox will now try to make a play on it. 4'11", small but mighty, loses it. Duquesne scoops up the ground ball as they go the other way.
Another turnover for Youngstown State in a crucial situation. That's back-to-back plays where they've had an opportunity at goal and lost it.
It's really a cause turnover there that will be credited and scooped up by Maya Piaquidio.
And a great play by Cox to swoop in on that one. We'll see if it leads to points. Nice move, and it does.
Just like you spoke it into existence, Dylan. Really, Lena Cox coming in, just finding a way. When you talk about small against tall, it's really all about trying to beat them out. Lena Cox has the fast break opportunity, as you can see the defenders for Duquesne running out of steam there, and just too much stepped out a lot. Really too much for Corgan Sweeney, stepping out way ahead of schedule.
And a beautiful move to get by counts there. You see just a little, almost like a juke move, a little jab step, gets some space and goes right by Sweeney. And you saw the quickness. I mean, she beat out three Duquesne defenders and then the goalie. So beautifully done by Lena Cox on that ground ball pickup. Just did it all herself, and that's what YSU does. A lot of individual playmakers.
Well, Lena Cox, she will continue where she left off from last season now. 6 goals on the season now for her in this 2025 campaign.
Another one of those scores. You know, you have your three-headed monster, of course, for YSU. You have Peck, you have Basinger, and you also have Grotenthaler. But then you got to talk about Lena Cox. Lena Cox is the one that goes under, literally, the radar. just a small athlete, but small but mighty, John, as you said. She does great job by the goal and gets her 6th goal of the season. One of YSU's leading scorers still.
When you talk about the OGs, the three-headed monster last year was Lena Cox, Ava Kreutzer, and Allie Garrett. Those were your big three. And now that script has flipped just a little bit. You still have Cox still in there. Kreutzer as well makes plays, but it's really been that difference maker on the offensive side for YSU.
That was a very long draw control there, but Duquesne does end up with it as they look to regain the lead.
Draw controls. Yes, Duquesne 10-5. 5 really draw control differential now for the Dukes.
And a nice shot there just goes wide of the cage. As you said, John, 10-5 in favor of the Dukes, and it's given them a lot more opportunities when it comes to offense.
Corinne Webb was wide on that shot, but an opportunity for Mackenzie Lazinski on the far side.
Nice defense and beautifully done. Just down and ground ball is scooped up. I believe that's Brooke Peck and just beautifully done. Oh no, that was not Brooke Peck. Excuse me, that was Molly Sheridan.
And Sheridan with the ground ball. We talked about her last year. Huge play on the defensive side. She was really that pillar for Youngstown State on that end. You'll see her trying to be that disruptor. She was there, especially you're going to see her a lot more here in the second half.
Absolutely. That was just beautifully done by Youngstown State there with Sheridan, and gets the ball back in possession, and now it looks like YSU's starting to find that rhythm. We'll see if it leads to goals. Cox wanted another one there, but nothing open.
Spin move there by Basinger for Youngstown State.
And I believe we have a foul here on Duquesne. We'll see what it ends up with. But a nice spin move there by Basinger. Just didn't lead to a goal as of yet.
Well, look at Lena Cox here. You can see again for Duquesne, just gets it there on the far side by Basinger with the spin move. And you can just see the collision there. It looks like maybe she tripped on her own accord, but you saw Duquesne getting in there a little bit as that yellow card will be called on Hannah Puella.
So they're going to get a woman up here, but it could be very short-lived depending on how this free play goes.
Basinger now for Youngstown State.
Very talented scorer, John.
The 5'5" freshman from Mason, Ohio, working against Corrigan Sweeney. Very interesting matchup here. Looks to see maybe where she could position this one at. Could go low, could go high. But we'll see here where she went, and she got it right down the middle as it goes right up high. Claire Basinger for Youngstown State strikes 7-6 as they retain the lead here.
And this is quick offense, which is what Youngstown State wants. Another unassisted goal coming off a free play opportunity, but Basinger knows how to find her shot. She found it there, gives the Gwynns the lead, and this is the offense that we were prepared to see with Youngstown State, putting points on the board quickly. 5 minutes into this quarter, already got 2 goals on the board, looking for more.
We talk about playing man up, playing free position as well. They had 2 things going in their way, 2 keys, especially in the game of lacrosse. But when you look at Claire Basinger, the freshman, 9 goals now for her on the season, almost going to hit double digits as she finds her stride in this game. Don't be surprised if she reaches goal number 10 here in this match.
Double-digit goals in 3 games would be what a career start for her here in this season as a draw control goes to Duquesne. But yeah, there's some spectacular athletes on this Youngstown State roster. As for Duquesne as well, you've seen it. We have 5 different players with 6 goals. 6 goals spread across 5 different players, but some talented athletes on the field today, John.
There you go, you got it, and you can see especially there, one of those players to me that stands out is Chelsea Evans. 2 goals in this contest, doing a lot, especially in the statistical numbers, whether it be goals as well as just trying to find open space. She's been there for the Dukes.
She's also got an assist today, John.
And again, it's all about surveying the field. You can see now Duquesne, Corinne Webb trying to find an open lane but can't.
Solid defense by YSU, but Duquesne slowly getting opportunities. We'll see if one comes up or not.
You know, we talk about the offense. The defense here for both of these teams has really shown out. This could be a much higher scoring game than we could have anticipated. But again, 7-6 is where it stands. Only 13 goals combined here.
A lot of turnovers, John, and that has led to not a lot of goals. As we say it, we should it's announcer jinx right there, John.
I don't know about that one, but you'll see Corinne Webb, who was able to go in there and score for Duquesne. Got on the far side, but we'll get some extra added confirmation here for Duquesne.
Just
it looks like it
great
could
run.
be, and it was not actually. It was on Mackenzie Lazinski, who finally gets her first goal here in this match.
So how about 6 players through 7 goals? That's nicely done as we're going to get a timeout here.
And we will take one as well. We'll be right back here on the Penguin Sports Network. With that goal from Mackenzie Lazinski, that marks her 8th now on the season. But when you look at her refrigerator list of accolades at Duquesne, it's a long list. She ranks 3rd all-time in draw controls at 162 after the 2024 season, but now she continues to add to that total as she tries and works her way into 2nd place. But when you look at her honors, 3 times A10 Commissioner Honor Roll, 2-time A10 All-Conference Second Team, as well as A10 All-Rookie Team, Offensive Player of the Week, and Defensive Player of the Week last season. This week she's making that claim to try and do it again.
Absolutely, John. A great career for her at Duquesne, and it's got off to a good start here this season with 8 goals, one of the better scorers on Duquesne's side.
Dylan, I know we talked about her just a little bit. Chelsea Evans was a player that piqued our interest. I know you were doing a little bit more scouting on her. Her resume is large as well.
Yeah, today alone, just 2 goals and assists, so already 3 points on the board, and 4 shots on goal today through 4 shots. So it seems like everything she's thrown at there is accurate, which is a solid accolade to have just today alone.
Well, that was one of our keys, accuracy. And for Duquesne, they have found their stride in that category. Youngstown State as well has been relatively accurate. 7-7 is where it stands. 14 goals combined for both of these teams.
Yeah, Youngstown State's got 12 shots on goal and 7 have gone, so still over 50% accuracy when it comes to shots on goal. They have 18 shots today, though, so a little below that 51% accuracy they've had coming into this game. So we'll see if they can improve that by the end of this. They're going to need at least 1 more if they want to win. And they might need 2 now, John.
Don, you're absolutely right. It was just the wide open opportunity for Duquesne. Honestly, felt like we were at Walmart there. Just a stroll down the aisle. She found it. Just nowhere to go for Liz Amos just on the far side. But watch that pass there. It's all about Haley Reek, who just rakes it. Just on the far side, got past and beat out Amos. That was it there.
And a great move by her. You know, the pump fake just got all the defenders reeling and found an open lane.
And for Youngstown State, especially in the cage, really the one question was, how do you replace Borkowski? really the Youngstown State's premier goalie last season, who had a ton of saves, over 100, who faced 602 total shots. And you'll see now, especially,
we have Brooke Harper coming in for goalie for Youngstown State, so a bit of a rough afternoon for Amos, and she'll take a seat probably for the rest of the contest.
and Dylan, thank you for pointing that out. I know you were trying to point up here, and I was looking, but could not see her. And you'll see the junior comes back in.
Another draw control for Duquesne there, just having a lot more possessions than Youngstown State.
And for Liz Amos, you have to give her credit. And especially for Duquesne, they were really just reeling off a lot of shots, especially where they're at now in that category. But as a freshman, it's tough trying to face that many shots and just allowing a lot of goals. But again, it's all about learning. And you'll now have the junior come back in, and Brooke Harper. See now Duquesne having yet another opportunity as they lead now by 1. 8-7 is where it stands, trying to have their first double-digit lead of the match. Or excuse me, over 2 at least.
Right, the 2-goal lead, John. We knew what you were thinking, all good. A scrap for the ball now, but Duquesne comes up with it. When you win those scrappy plays, that's a bit of a morale boost. You know, the ball's, kind of everywhere, and everybody's scrambling for it. So when you can pick up those little wins, those are big momentum boosts. But a nice play by Youngstown State, and it'll go the other way, the way of the Gwins.
And that was just a breath of fresh air for Youngstown State. Back-to-back fouls for Youngstown State. One on Jenna Cook, one on Kuzale. But again, it's just those opportunities that just go in the way now. Youngstown State will cause that turnover with the ground ball that was picked up by Mackenzie Flanagan. A lot has transpired in under 30 seconds.
And that's what can happen in lacrosse, very fast-paced game. And we might be getting a timeout here.
And as they take a timeout, we won't, but we'll talk about this offense. How about it, Dylan?
Absolutely, John. The Duquesne offense has started to ramp up here in this second and third quarter. Now we've got, of course, this timeout, but now, Youngstown State's looking to try to attack again and get points back on the board. They haven't done a great job in those second and third quarters. Only 3 goals combined in those two so far. Now in the third, they just need to find some better opportunities. Duquesne's been doing a great job of it in this last couple of quarters.
When you get towards the end of the third quarter, one of the key really matchups is it's the head coaching matchup. When you look at Duquesne, it's Tracy Coyne, who you get a little bit nervous. She has a lot of career accolades. She started coaching in 1988 at the D3 level. She has a lot of experience. And when you look at it, she has been everywhere. She also was a huge mainstay at the University of Notre Dame, especially when she took over that program. They won the Big East Championship in 2009, semifinal run in 2006, 6 NCAA tournament appearances. She also was with 7 seasons at Roanoke, Denison University, and most recently St. Francis, where she set program records there as well. She knows what she's doing. She's been there. She's been around the block, but she elected to come back home to the Bluff in Pittsburgh, PA, where she's from. Why not? You get the opportunity to coach the hometown team. Feels like a very great fit for Coyne.
And what a career for Coyne. And Rob Harris is just starting his career at Youngstown State, just hired last year in July of 2023. From 2014 to 2022, he led the Division II Davenport Panthers women lacrosse team. So that was 9 seasons he spent there. Of course, just picked up his first win against St. Francis the other day here in the Watts, 19-10. So that was a big step up for him, and he's finally starting to, get his feet wet here in Division I lacrosse. So we'll see if his career improves. I'm sure it will. He's got a great group of girls here. 6:33 to go in the third. We're back in action, John.
And for Coach Coyne, one of the quotables that really stands out to me is she said, "We're getting better every day, and it's a great opportunity for these young women to do something that has not been done in a while." And here against Youngstown State, they lead by 1. They're trying now to go 2-1 against MAC opponents and 2-1 in their record with a first-year head coach in Coyne.
Yeah, first year of the program, but not first year in total. 1980s she started coaching, so a long tenured career and a lot of accolades to go with it, so great career for Coyne.
Well, Dylan, you have to remember everywhere you go is a fresh start. The accolades go out the window. It's all about what you do at this program.
What a move
as you can
there.
see, Youngstown State here a little bit too far up top as the foul will be called. Maybe an opportunity for Youngstown State, who could get saved by the bell.
Absolutely, I believe it will be. That was Grotenthaler there on the take there. That was Lena Cox's last goal, so that was the last goal by YSU, and they're looking to do it again. Here on this time, it's a free play, but a lot of unassisted goals. We'll see if they can get another one, John.
And again, for Youngstown State, take advantage of those free position opportunities. You have Katie Grotenthaler. She can go out there and make plays when you have to. Trying to make one here, and she does. Grotenthaler, why not throw the stick down and celebrate? We're all tied up again. 8-8 is where it stands. 5:44 to go here in the third. What a play.
We have got a thriller here in the Watts, John. And a great play there by Grotenthaler, getting a goal for YSU, and well needed, much needed. And you know what, we talked about it. Take advantage of those opportunities. I mean, they literally do not get any easier than that when it comes to the game of lacrosse. So when you get a goal, when you set up 8 meters from the goal, pretty much one-on-one with the goalie, got to take those opportunities. Grotenthaler took that one, gets us back equal at 8.
For Grotenthaler, she really is a smooth criminal. 8 goals this season for her. You can see how easily she does it. It doesn't matter if there's 2 defenders there. Free position opportunity. She's going to sneak around your goalkeeper and take that shot.
Yeah, she is just a great athlete. She's got 2 on the, that was her first goal of the day. So nice to see her get on the board.
For Youngstown State now, 5 different players have scored, with Basinger and Peck being the only scorers that have more than 1. Duquesne now trying to facilitate the passing game, and they do.
Opportunity, and they get it.
Guess who? Corinne Webb underneath.
Just a great, strong take to the cage, and no chance for Harper to stop it.
As we'll see there again, just look at the pass there. It all started with Chelsea Evans winning the draw control and Corinne Webb just going to work. As you can see her now, just the amount of goals that she has compiled in this game. 3rd goal for her on the season, 2nd in this matchup. That is now 3 players that have 2 goals for Duquesne: Corinne Webb, Haley Reek, and Chelsea Evans now.
So another lead for Duquesne as they get back up 9-8. Youngstown State's defense has been reeling since that second quarter started. They only allowed 2 goals, and they've allowed 7 since that first quarter. And another draw control from Duquesne as they have another opportunity on offense.
We talk about this offense that has really found both of their rhythms in the third. Both teams have 3 goals apiece here.
And if you're Duquesne, you're fine with trading goals up 1. So Youngstown State needs to look to strike up defensively.
Well, this defense for Duquesne really has to try and play a role here, as the ground ball will try and be scooped up by Youngstown State, and they do, going the other way. Jenna Cook.
And it looks like they had numbers. We'll see if they decide to attack. And couldn't quite find the right opportunity, and they'll look for the right one here, bringing it back to the 12-meter mark.
Well, if it wasn't for 2 of those defenders back deep, it would have really been Jenna Cook just off to the races.
Yeah, it could have been one-on-one.
But now the defense will reset. That will allow them to go.
Yeah, big possession for YSU here. They need a goal to get back to equal again. But Duquesne's doing a great job of closing off those gaps, not giving any easy opportunities. You can see a lot of Gwynns running through, trying to get the opening, but Duquesne closing it off quickly, getting in the passing lanes. That's what they need to do. They've been doing it. Here goes Peck. She might have an opportunity, but great defense again. And I believe they might have called a foul there, and Duquesne fans do not seem happy about it.
And I think that one might have been on camera. Cameron Counts, who was in there. You saw her hit the stick just a little bit too hard potentially.
It'll just be a free play foul, so the ball stays with Peck. 36 seconds and counting on the shot clock.
For Youngstown State, don't get too nervous about that shot clock.
If Cox had that spin move there, she might have had a goal. Had a lot of opening.
And a signal will be made as well as a card will not be issued.
But we are going to get another free position shot here for YSU. I believe this is Sammy Drew going to have the ball this time. Chelsea Evans, I believe, was the culprit there for the foul. But a big opportunity again for YSU.
Sammy Drew, the freshman for Youngstown State. Did she get it? She did not, as that ball will still be in play. Duquesne trying to scoop up the ground ball as they get it. Cox now working against Duquesne.
Spectacular defense from Sweeney again. Not allowing anything easy.
It's been the quick strikes, especially for Duquesne, who's found their rhythm in scooping up the ground balls here in the late half. Ground balls, Youngstown State has 15 compared to Duquesne's 9.
That's one of those that you thought might have been more even, but I guess Youngstown State gets another one right there, so not really that surprising when you see just the turnovers, if anything. Possible numbers here for Youngstown State, but I believe they're just going to trail it out and run their offense.
When you look at the ground balls, Mackenzie Flanagan leads with 4 in this match, compared to Addison Scanlon, who has 2. Chelsea Evans as well, following suit. Mackenzie Flanagan also has 2 caused turnovers.
Doing a great job of getting in lanes. I mean, they're not giving any free runs to the goal. Nothing easy for Youngstown State as Cox.
As they're
there's a
trying
nice
to find an
spin
easy
move.
goal here, and Lena Cox, that's too far to the right.
Couldn't tell if that one just hit off the cage or if Sweeney was there to save that one, but either way, good defense by Duquesne, and still no scoring for Youngstown State.
Open cage now for Duquesne. Sweeney was able to get back in there. As the passing now will go for Duquesne, looking for a fast break, but you can see Lazinski out in front.
Nice fast break. They might have an opportunity, but a great save by Harper. Tips off the stick there, and it'll stay here with Duquesne, but a great save.
You talk about the chain of command. The passing for Duquesne was flawless on that one, but couldn't show anything for it. Mackenzie Lazinski now getting in a tight opportunity, but Sammy Drew for Youngstown State tried to make a play.
And she's just trying to get it out of her hands there. She was rushed by some of those attackers at Duquesne. She gets it out cleanly.
Also, Megan McGrath was in there for YSU.
So YSU's defense has stepped up. Now it's time for the offense to cook something up here. We'll see if Peck can get anything going.
3 defenders for Duquesne, although there is a hole on the far side. You can see Sammy Drew looking to try and bait the defender off, but
Peck was doing the same thing, John. She threw a lot of pump fakes, trying to draw some more defenders, get somebody else open, but Duquesne not falling for it. Nice
here's
run.
the opportunity there, but all
off the
for naught.
side
Claire
of the
Basinger.
cage again, John.
Under
Shots
10 seconds now in this third.
Peck has it, but we'll see. It looks like it's going to Sammy Drew. Can she have an opportunity? And there's a foul called. We're going to get another free position opportunity.
And Sammy Drew was hit hard there, getting up gingerly.
Yeah, she took a spill there, John, so hopefully she is okay. We'll see it again.
And we have to. You can see Sammy Drew now trying to make a play, but just the cross-check there, especially
5-on-5, that was Cameron Counts. But the foul goes on Casey McBride. We got a free position opportunity, and Drew just sails it over the goal. And that's how the third quarter is going to end, John. Big momentum for Duquesne.
As the momentum goes for Duquesne, we'll take a break. A lot more in store in the fourth quarter when we return right here on the Penguin Sports Network.
Go.
Duquesne leads 9-8 here in Youngstown, Ohio, but of course we have to talk about the schedules for both of these teams here, especially for Duquesne. After a visit here in Youngstown, they will return to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania at Rooney Field for a 3-game homestand. St. Francis kicks off the home action at 1 p.m. February 22nd, followed by Mercyhurst at February 27th at 2 p.m. Also as well, when you look at it, George Washington at 1 p.m. March 8th. Both those games are on ESPN, and that is A10 conference play against George Washington. Now we look at Youngstown State University. After a cancellation to its match against George Washington in a flex home game against St. Francis, they'll have to stay at home as they round out their 5-game homestand against St. Bonaventure, February 22nd at 12 p.m. And followed by Big East Conference opponent as Butler comes to town on February 28th, 6 p.m. and travel on the road against Wofford and Garner-Webb during spring break for here at YSU. But again, we have to talk about these teams. Dylan, fourth quarter action, 15 minutes to go. What do both of these teams do? Youngstown State needs to come back. Duquesne needs to keep the lead. What's the game plan?
I think for both sides, it's the same thing. It's just trying to get both facets of the game to work at the same time. You know, Youngstown State put up 3 goals in succession in that last quarter, but then the defense couldn't stop them. So then Duquesne scores quickly. But it's the same thing for both sides. It's when the offense is good, the defense isn't good enough to stop the other team. But when the defense is good, the offense can't put any points on the board. So I think both teams need to put it together. And for Duquesne, I mean, your defense has been solid. You've held a 16-goal-per-game team to 8 goals today, and they're not going to get 16, knock on wood for Duquesne, of course. But so they've done a good job on defense. Now it's just a matter of kind of stretching out that lead with some goals. And for Youngstown State, you've had opportunities, score. That's all I can say. Score. You've had the opportunities, had plenty of free play opportunities, had plenty of shots on goal. They just aren't falling. They need to fall.
And Dylan, that one tried to fall there, but that one was scooped up by Sweeney, who has really played a pivotal role for Duquesne on the defensive end. But for Youngstown State, they started off hot here in the fourth quarter. They won the draw control, especially by Katie Grotenthaler, who allowed Youngstown State to get inside of their attacking zone for Duquesne. But it's really been that difference maker of which goalkeeper is going to really bend but don't break. And so far it has been Sweeney. And for Youngstown State, they've had that change twice already.
Yeah, Sweeney has been spectacular in this game. I mean, they made the switch early, and they have not looked back. Over 50% goal percent or save percentage. She's been spectacular in this one. She has done her job. She has done her job. As for Youngstown State, they really can't find that goalie that sits at the top of the depth chart. Now they've made 2 changes, or they've made a change in each of the last games, and we'll see if Harper can give the Gwins what they need. Amos was what they needed against St. Francis. And again, this matchup, she was struggling. So we'll see if Harper is going to be the one to complete this comeback, or help them complete the comeback, I should say.
Well, for Harper, she has really just had a couple matches where she hasn't found her rhythm yet. It's all about standing in the back of the cage, trying to find where these shots are going. It's difficult, especially with a new team. You're coming in this year. It's all about trying to figure it out, and so far she hasn't, but don't be surprised if she does find what works, as Youngstown State will scoop up that ground ball off to cause turnover.
And only
McHugh, yes.
Yeah, only 1 goal allowed for Harper today, so pretty solid so far. Of course, doesn't have any saves, but that's due to the defense. Youngstown State's defense has stepped up in the last couple of minutes, and that's what they've needed. As you saw, another forced turnover right there, another caused turnover. Gets YSU back on the offensive end, and now this is where they've struggled the last couple of minutes, is this offensive end. They've had the opportunities, they've gotten the shots on goal, had the free plays, not falling.
And Sammy Drew was there, shot too far wide out to the left side there, but when you talk about defense winning you championships, a lot of these teams that go to the NCAA lacrosse tournament have a very outstanding defense. You don't see a lot of offense. Sometimes you do, especially with Northwestern, Boston College, those schools that have a huge offense. But a lot of the schools have defense, and that's what allows them to stay in these games. Don't rely too much on your goalie. Allow them to really just play their game and set, because therefore, if your goalie faces a lot of shots, they run into gas very easily.
You're absolutely correct, John. The nail right on the head. I mean, you said it. Defense. You know the old saying, defense wins championships, as Youngstown State breaks through the Duquesne defense right there.
And We couldn't have scripted that anymore. We talk about defense. Defense breaks down for Duquesne. Sammy Drew for YSU. Why not? Off the assist by Lena Cox. And just watch this play. Lena Cox gets tied up in the defense, tries and finds someone on the far side. Guess who? Sammy Drew's there knocking on your door.
Ooh, guess who? Sammy Drew. I like that, John. Lena Cox now with her second assist of the day. So, not a lot of assists for Youngstown State this season, but Lena Cox has been able to find the open woman today, and it's gotten her 2 goals. So she's got 3 points on the day, and Youngstown State ties it at 9. We've got a barn burner in the Watts, John.
We do. We have an offensive game here, 9-9, and when you really look at it on paper, a lot of these teams starting to get very close in their statistical margins, but when you have 18 combined goals, there's the offense that starts to go to work.
Absolutely, and hopefully we're going to see some more with the next 11 minutes and 29 seconds of the game left. And those draw controls have still been in favor of Duquesne.
But this one will go in favor of, it looks like.
This one also will go toward Duquesne, and they've done it all game. It's given them plenty of possessions. And otherwise, 16 to 6 draw controls. Youngstown State has not done very well in draw controls.
And that's really been in due of part of Chelsea Evans for Duquesne, who has just went to work here. Just clocked in at the 9-5, and she's been putting in the work. You can see it.
Clocked in at the 9-9.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't say all that much, but she has been putting in a tremendous amount of work, whether it be the turnovers, the assists, the goals. All statistical categories have belonged to her here in this match.
Yeah, this has been a scrappy game, from both sides. Both teams have just been doing the little things, and that's what's been keeping both sides in this, and that's what's making it a really fun game. And tough defense there, and I believe they're going to call...
It'll go in favor of Youngstown State.
I believe they called advantage, so that must have been a foul on Duquesne there, and a quick turnover right back to Duquesne. That was Haley Reek that turned it over for Duquesne, and the clear attempt by YSU obviously failed, so it's coming right back with the Dukes.
And that was caused by Mackenzie Lazinski, and she scooped up that ground ball. When you look at her, she's a player that can go in there. We talked about she wins draw control. She does cause turnovers. She has a lot of goals for this team.
She's got a couple of points today for obviously the 1 goal and 1 assist, so she's been a solid piece of this team today, helping put 2 goals on the board. And with 10:05 left, you'll take any goal you can get right now. It is locked up tight here in the Watts.
Well, that's what you want, especially in the fourth quarter. 10:05 to go. It's NCAA women's lacrosse. This is as entertaining as it gets. If you're interested in high-scoring affairs, especially on the offensive end, I know there's a lot of defensive-minded gurus out there, but this is a game where your offense go to work. You're trading goal for goal. When you look at the quarter really scoring, it was 4-2 Youngstown State leads by 2 in the first quarter. 4-1 Duquesne leads in the second quarter. Third quarter was tied up 3-3. YSU now has the advantage 1-0 here in the fourth.
Yeah, and it's interesting because YSU put up 4 goals in that first quarter. Looked like they were going to be right on track with that 16 goals a game mark. And another turnover by Youngstown State. And Rob Harris not happy with the unforced errors by his Gwins.
If you're Coach Harris, would you be happy, especially when you've seen your team hold the turnover advantage? You had that against Duquesne, and it's just the crucial errors that have allowed Duquesne to get back in this contest.
We'll hope so. That's what they're going for. Both of these sides are, at least. Yeah, there's been a lot of turnovers in this game regardless of the team.
When you look at it on the numbers.
35 total turnovers,
35.
John.
That's an insane margin,
It
especially
is.
for Duquesne, who has 23, although Youngstown State only has 12. It's really been the ball security.
Another turnover there, John, and that time there's going to be a foul on Duquesne. I don't know if it's big enough to be a yellow card, but...
As you saw Sheridan there, who was hit down relatively hard, scoops up the ground ball, tries and goes the other way. What a hit there, especially from Lazinski, just too much.
They did rule it a yellow card, so a big possession here for Youngstown State as they're going to have a woman up.
Well, you talk about the power plays. Youngstown State, this is where they know how to capitalize.
You need to take advantage of an opportunity like this with under 9 to go in the fourth. You're tied up with Duquesne. Need a goal here. This is your opportunity, and what a run here by Basinger.
Well, for Youngstown State in women up, really opportunities, 4-3. So in those positions they've had, we'll talk about that more, though, when we return here only on the Penguin Sports Network. We're all tied up here in the Watts, but of course, Coach Harris elected to take a timeout, and rightfully so. Dylan, can you talk about maybe potentially why he did that here this evening?
Oh, it was just to make sure you get this next possession right. You've got a woman up for the next minute and a half or so in this game, and in a game where scoring has not been at a premium, only 18 goals combined between these two teams, you make sure you get this right. Rob Harris just elected to take a timeout and make sure that this is the play that they drew up. Find an opening in the in the defense, I should say. Create an opening with the offense and get this play right. Make sure you go up 10-9 here. Well, we'll see what happens after the timeout.
8:35 here in the fourth quarter. Tied ball game here as the Penguins elect to go short. Sprotenthaler was in there. Sammy Drew trying to facilitate this one, trying to get inside the middle. Youngstown State blocked off, though, inside. No looks for YSU as Duquesne's defense stands tall.
Yeah, we'll see if whatever Coach Harris drew up is going to work here, but tough defense by Duquesne as they scoop up the ground ball and cause another turnover.
And you have to give credit there, especially for Faith Canutti,
Yeah, that was a great defensive play, and now you can pretty much weight up this power play by if you're Duquesne and get your team back to full strength.
So you see Canutti here, especially her. She was able to get in there, be the disruptor, as she has that opportunity for Duquesne. Working on the far side, Youngstown State's defense, but a signal will be made.
Another stoppage.
But this will go in the way for Duquesne here. As you can see, Youngstown State on your screen here, a different defensive set here. As Youngstown State defender came up, elected to go back. You're going to see two defenders in the back. The offense for Duquesne is going to try and press that as they have subs coming on as well.
And we'll see if Duquesne can extend this lead, or sorry, get the lead back, with a woman down. So that's interesting. And Youngstown State couldn't capitalize on the opportunity they had. We'll see if they get another one. 60 seconds left in this power play for Youngstown State.
Well,
Leaving a lot of space, and they get it.
As you can see, Duquesne now benefits off the green card, which was on Kuzale, and Duquesne now, they'll chip into that lead. They'll lead 10-9, and how about that by Grayson Emerson for the Dukes. Just a clean fielded play, which was assisted by Haley Reek.
And Reek made that play. I mean, just found her right next to the goal. Beautiful pass. No wind could get in there and stop it. And then just a nice finish there by Emerson. And they get the lead with a player up, or with a player down, excuse me.
That's how you capitalize on those.
No kidding.
Really, absolutely. Especially when you're down a player you would expect to get scored on. Why not lock in defensively and allow your offense to really cut around that? They did just that, and it's all about the assist. And that's where Duquesne has strived, especially in the assist numbers. They have 4 compared to YSU's 2. Very tightly contested game here.
Yeah, nicely done there. What a great pass by Reek. That was, I believe, her first assist of the day. But it was a nice pass. Found her teammate in the perfect position to score that.
We already have a whistle there as Youngstown State will scoop it up on the ground ball. They'll head the other way.
And they need this goal here. Now down 1. You're still a woman up for the time being. We'll have another stoppage of play.
As you can hear some words from the Duquesne bench.
Possibly a yellow card. Another member of the team went off.
You're absolutely right, and it looks like
There's a green
Youngstown
card.
State, yes.
That was on Chelsea Evans.
She'll have to sit in the box just for a little bit there.
Still a wide open opportunity for Youngstown State. We'll see if they can capitalize. Haven't to this point. They've had the opportunities, but just haven't been able to capitalize. And we'll see if it's any different here. 7 minutes to go in the 4th. Down a goal, but a player up.
This defense for Duquesne has really played spectacular here. No lanes for Youngstown State as they try and find one here. Get it to Lena Cox, and Youngstown State will go to work. Tried to get the shovel pass there, but could not.
And I believe they're going to get a foul in that.
In the crease.
Yeah, so now a free possession opportunity, and this is what Youngstown State needs. A nice move by Basinger, but couldn't find any openings. And
well, you just saw Casey McBride in there, number 32, the defender, who's a junior. Just a little bit too much there as Youngstown State will try and take this opportunity here to tie this one up as they'll elect to go short.
And didn't get a
and
good,
loses it.
Yeah, didn't get a good jump there and just elected to pull the offense back out. And now they're at full strength again. So now you want to work for this goal.
Now for Youngstown State, it's the nerves. You can definitely see that. Again, you know you're getting close to a win, getting close to this margin. Keep it together. Breathe a little bit. It's okay. You have 6:22 left on the clock in the 4th. Go to work. You have scorers such as Lena Cox right here. Tries and feeds it inside. Youngstown State go get the equalizer. 10-10 is where it stands, but we could have a foul and it could be called back. And it will. A yellow card will be signaled. And that will go in favor of Duquesne. The goal does not count for Youngstown State.
And what a turn of events here. The goal goes, but it's called a yellow.
But we'll see why, especially where it was called.
And it looks like the
stick.
Yep.
Cameron Counts just hit her right in the head there. That was on Sammy Drew, just a little bit too much there.
Looks like it was on Kreutzer, actually.
Yes.
She was the one that attempted that shot, but got the foul. And I believe we're going to get another timeout here.
But we'll stay here, though, because, again, 10-9 is where it stands. Duquesne will have a power play here. 6:13 left. Dylan, what do you do in this situation? Youngstown State, they need a score, but they're not in desperation mode as of yet.
Definitely not yet. There's plenty of time left in the 4th quarter to get some points, but now you're at a huge disadvantage. You're still down on the scoreboard, and now you're down a player for the next 2 minutes. So a tough play, especially one of your scorers. We'll look at it again one more time. Just a tough hit right there.
Just Kreutzer, just too much there, as you can see her celebrating, but a little bit too early.
Yeah, Cameron Counts got domed right there, and it was, unfortunately, she's okay, but a tough hit, and that's what drew the yellow card. So now a woman up for Duquesne, and this is a chance, if you're Duquesne, to stretch that lead out. Go get another goal, get up by 2, and an offense like Youngstown State that's been struggling all game. That's exactly what this is prime opportunity if you're Duquesne right now.
And for Youngstown State, that is a demoralizer. You think you have the equalizer, you tie it up 10-10. You know, now that score gets wiped off the board because of a foul by Kreutzer, but for Youngstown State, this is an offense that can really score and relatively score quickly, especially if you're YSU. Some of the players that you would really want to get this ball in the hands of is Lena Cox. You know the size mismatch between, you know, especially Corgan Sweeney, a huge goalkeeper, 6 foot, working against 4'11". You know the size is different, but that's the player you want to get it to, allowing the equalizer to happen. But now with 28 seconds left, it's all about talking to your team, keeping it cool, and assuring them that, you know, although time is ticking down, it is okay.
Absolutely. There's plenty of time. Definitely not desperation mode, as you said, yet. Youngstown State still with an opportunity to win this game, but now you just have to lock in on defense especially. You know, you already gave up a goal when they had a woman down. Now you just lost one of your teammates, so tough break for the Gwins, but if they can handle this player-up scenario, they can get back in this game. 2 goals to win it, 1 to tie it.
Now you'll look at a different, really special for Youngstown State and Duquesne here. They're going to try and play keep away and chew some clock off. Sweeney now trying to get this one deep. Connects to Lazinski.
And into the open space she goes. They're trying to take advantage of this player-up opportunity.
And for Youngstown State.
And it's going to be a free play opportunity, it looks like. That is exactly what you don't want to give up for Youngstown. Duquesne has a chance to put themselves up by 2 goals here.
And for Youngstown State, the one player you did not want to see taking that shot, Corinne Webb, as she's going to try and get this one for Duquesne as she adds another one to her total. Duquesne goes up by 2 here. 5:48 to go in the 4th. The one person you want to get this ball in the hands of is Corinne Webb. Why not?
Yeah, she's a spectacular player. She's got 3 on the day now with that last one, and just no match. Harper was no match for that one, and Corinne Webb puts the Dukes up by 2 with under 6 minutes to go. Desperation mode just got a lot closer with Youngstown State. But the only good news, the silver lining, is now you're back at full strength. So,
well, you talk about tipping your hats. When you have a hat trick, especially for Corinne Webb, that player who knows where to go at all times, and in this match, she has 3 goals as well as 5 shots, 4 on goal, as well as 1 turnover. She's been there, all over the place.
She has been, yeah, she has definitely been the key scorer for this Duquesne team, as well as Haley Reek. She's been spectacular as well. There's a lot of great athletes on that Duquesne sideline.
So now Youngstown State is down by 2. Still have 5:40 left to go here.
Plenty of time to score, but you just got to do it. I mean, you want to get it as soon as possible. You do not want to let that come down to the final shot. 5.5 to go, like you said. Down 2 goals. Need 2. 3 would win it. Or 3 would at least give you the lead. I do not want to say win it. Duquesne's offense has been pretty solid here since that first quarter.
Well, both of these teams have already been in overtime this season, coincidentally both being their season openers. One against Akron, as well as Youngstown State, one against Lindenwood. Sammy Drew now working against the defense. There's the cut. Wide open opportunity for Sammy Drew.
Nice spin move, but just an even better block by Sweeney. I mean, Corgan Sweeney has been spectacular all day, and Duquesne's looking to go up by 3 scores here.
My, oh my, her athleticism, and it definitely runs deep, especially her family playing athletics, her having all the high school accolades. It's all about translating that. She's done a spectacular job for Duquesne.
Yeah, she's had a definitely, like you talked about, that athleticism runs deep in the family. She's got multiple D1 family members, or had, I should say. And she's looking great right now. Corgan Sweeney with her 6-foot frame freshman. She has put on a show here for Duquesne. Still, I believe, above 50% when it comes to save percentage. 57% on the day. So
she has 8 saves.
About as good as you could ask for. And that one goes wide as Harper was able to stop that one. But Duquesne's going to pick this one up.
As you can see for Duquesne, they have all the momentum on their sides. They're playing very confidently. You can see the defense is starting to lock up very successfully. As you can see here in this play, Duquesne
keeps
now
possession,
will just play keep away.
Yeah, there's no reason to rush anything or try to score unnecessarily, have a 2-score lead. And what a pass inside! Beautifully done by the Dukes.
And Duquesne just adds insult to injury here as they add yet another goal to this total here. And what a play by guess who? Corinne Webb, assisted by Mackenzie Lazinski.
And Lazinski, what a pass. You can see it right here, just finds her in the middle of that zone. Nobody was on her. Corinne Webb gets her 4th goal of the day, and what a find by Lazinski. Just a beautiful pass. And Youngstown State will take a timeout here with 3:45 to go. And it's not looking good for the Gwynns right now. They have just fallen apart both offensively and defensively, John.
Dylan, when you look at that, especially Corinne Webb just putting this team on her shoulders, when you look at it, especially some of the season highs in 2025, of course, this is her most goals she has scored this season, but last season she scored 5 on March 2nd, 2024. So far, she's been leading the charge here for the Dukes.
Yeah, and what a job she's done today and for the most of the part of the season. You can tell, I mean, only 2 assists for Youngstown State today, 4 assisted goals for Duquesne. And that last one was no different than what we've seen today. Haley Reek had that other beautiful assist earlier to give Duquesne another goal on the board. But that's just been the difference maker today, I think, has been a lot of the passing and, you know, the ball movement throughout this game for Duquesne has been spectacular. For YSU, it went stale for a while, and now just can't find the back of the net and at the worst time.
3-1 scoring run for Duquesne. I mean, their offense is clicking. When you look at it statistically, they haven't done anything wrong here in this 4th quarter. Now, the first 3 have been a little bit rocky, but Coach Coyne, you have to give the veteran credit. She has taken this team, coached them here over 3 quarters, saying, hey, it's okay if we're down. We're going to come back. And you don't spend almost 35 years coaching women's lacrosse when especially you know what you're doing. Coach Coyne, she has been everywhere. She has the experience, D1, D2, D3. She's been around. You can see right here, she knows how to win matches here early on.
Yeah, Duquesne went down early in that first quarter, 4-2, but just stormed right back, took the lead in the second half, and really haven't looked back. YSU was able to tie it a couple of times in the 3rd and even at the beginning of the 4th, but now just opening up a 3-score lead is Duquesne, and it's looking bleak for Youngstown State. I think officially we are in panic mode if you're a Penguins fan.
Dylan, you're absolutely right. 3:45 to go. Duquesne has the 3-score lead. You have to go very quickly. That's a score a minute.
Yeah, absolutely.
And some change.
Absolutely. You're going to have to, and it's going to start right here on these draw controls. Youngstown State needs to control at least 2 of these if they want to get back in this game.
Well, they also have to cause some more turnovers. Youngstown State looking to win that one. They do. Well, at least try to. Is that one?
Also, it looks like Liz Amos is back in goal for Youngstown State. Harper wasn't doing too hot, so they put back Amos, who had a solid game last outing, but today hasn't been her day.
And that's okay. As a freshman, you're going to take those lumps, as you'll see the foul here trying to make a play. It's just number 42, Jenna Cook for Youngstown State, and it was Katie Grotenthaler who picked it up, but
there's a green card on Webb there. So Youngstown State will start from a fixed point here.
And that was Webb's first error of the match.
Yeah, definitely not a day of errors for Corinne Webb.
Absolutely not. When you have everything going in your way with 4 goals for the team, I mean, you've been the leader. You've been the commander of this vessel, per se, but you've done a great job.
This Duke's vessel. Possible opportunity for Youngstown State here, and they get one well needed.
Well, there it is. You're starting to chip into the deficit. Youngstown State has the right idea. We talked about you have to score and you have to do it relatively quickly. Jenna Cook there playing with a power play. Just watch how she fits that in there. Bounces it, not even that much, just beats out the goalkeeper. And there it is, 2-score lead now for Duquesne. They slice it by 1, 3:04. That was under 10-second score for YSU.
And they needed it. Boy, did they need it. Now next comes the draw controls, taking another timeout on the field today. But, you know, that's what they needed. They needed it so much And now with just over 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, it's definitely desperation time, but you helped it out with that goal there, of course, with Jenna Cook scoring unassisted. And now, like I said, those draw controls are going to become all that more important. You know, you need offensive possessions, and the way to get it is by winning those draw controls. Because if you don't, then Duquesne can just take 90 seconds off the clock or even put in another goal. So winning those draw controls is going to be crucial for YSU coming down the stretch. Still down 2 goals, but they have 3 minutes to do it, John.
Well, you see here Coach Coyne elected to take the timeout. And, again, just like with Coach Harris, you have to take one here if you're Coach Coyne again, because Youngstown State can easily start to score on you, especially if they find the right offensive fit. They found it there with Jenna Cook. She went to work, beat out your goalkeeper. Now this is really that option where you have to elect to talk to your defense. Your offense has done their job, right? They can clock out a little bit. Your defense and your goalkeeper, they still have to remain on the clock. They have to stay affirmative, and they as well have to be very poised. And you've seen that, really, that breakdown that Youngstown State has done there.
Yeah, all of those, you know, the scoring runs for Duquesne have propelled them to a nice lead here. So I get where you're coming from when you say like that. But all those middles and those defenders definitely need to lock it up here come the last 3 minutes of the game. And honestly, like I said, if you win those draw controls, you can take so much time off the clock. I think that's going to be a huge turning point, just depending on who wins this one and the next draw control, if YSU can, of course, get a score.
And that's going to be the difference maker, especially this play right here. This could really turn the page and tell the tale of what Youngstown State can do. If Duquesne wins this one, they're able to chew the clock, and Youngstown State is going to make it even tougher if they want to try and come back. So
yeah,
we'll see now.
Kreutzer's done a nice job on these controls today. I feel like she has been putting in the work, so hopefully that can continue now if they want to get back in this game. But, of course, draw controls have been well in favor of Duquesne, but the last 3 have gone to the Gwins.
Conatee versus Kreutzer here. Looking to see who wins this draw control. That could really turn the page, and here it is for Youngstown State. They win that one.
A pivotal one at that, yes. Huge opportunity for Youngstown State. Now you get a free offensive possession once again. You've got some great scorers. Put the ball in their hands and let them go to work.
You can hear Coach Harris all the way up here in the booth, just how loud he is. He's really talking to his team.
Long
and that's
shot
just
from Jenna Cook.
Way too long there. You could have taken it a little bit more inside. You had the crease on the far side to work with. Maybe could have passed it out, but
yeah,
we'll
early in the shot clock, and just not a great play there. And that
for
was
Youngstown State.
I believe that was Brooke Peck that forced that goalie timeout. I'm not sure what the rule is directly, but Sweeney had that ball for looked like 10 seconds. And
absolutely right. She held it too long, and as a goalkeeper,
great
she
defense
is a freshman.
by Peck.
Yes, absolutely. Here's an opportunity now for Youngstown State. Is the defense now looking tall? Getting under 2 minutes here. Youngstown State has to try and get a shot off, but we'll see what the call was initially. Youngstown State celebrating. It'll go in the favor for them as a foul will be called on Duquesne.
They might have a free play opportunity here. It looks like they will. A nice run to the goal there, but play was blown dead, obviously. And now what a huge opportunity for Youngstown State. 2:03 to go in the fourth, and you are right there. You're scraping at that deficit. Can you scrape even more? 2 goals down. Can you make it 1 right here?
So we'll see Youngstown State here try and put an equalizer, and they will. Youngstown State scores, cuts it to 1. 12-11 is where it stands, and how about that effort by Youngstown State? What a play. Katie Grotenthaler. Who else? Youngstown State's premier player cuts it inside and beats out Sweeney. Youngstown State looking to equalize this 12-12.
And a nice goal there by Grotenthaler. Gets her 2nd goal of the day, her 9th on the season. Just one of the premier scorers of this team, despite her underclassman status. Spectacular job by her. And now the momentum shifts. Another draw control here for Youngstown State could mean the world to the Penguins. 2 minutes on the clock exactly. Nice play by Grotenthaler to help them get back in this game. A full shot clock would not end this game, so if Duquesne does get possession, it's not over yet.
Kreutzer's been here before. A little bit of deja vu for YSU, but Conatee here has to try and win this one for Duquesne, and they will.
Nicely done. That was perfectly drawn up for that draw control. Now if you're Youngstown State, now we're getting into sketchy territory because this is, a chance Duquesne could pretty much put the game away with another goal, especially if they drain the rest of the shot clock. So they're going to drain a lot of time off the clock. Youngstown State's defense is going to have to get aggressive here.
And for Youngstown State, it's been their offense that has really kept them in here, especially for Youngstown State's defense. It has faltered just a little bit, same for Duquesne, but again, both offenses just clicking, and that one's over the top.
Out of bounds.
As it sails out, Youngstown State will have the opportunity as the clock starts to tick. 1:20 left. Youngstown State, this is desperation time.
75 seconds to go and 1 goal down. This is the game right here.
So an error by Mia Piaquidio.
Can you find it in yourselves for one more goal? You've had great momentum. You've found the right opportunity. If you score quick enough, you might even have time to double them up. We'll see.
Lena Cox now. This is one of the players you want to get in the hands of. Too much of a check there by Duquesne. Defense working heavily. Katie Grotenthaler now.
That's
trying to
one of the
get
ones
past
you'd want
the
to have
defender.
the ball.
Absolutely. 2 defenders now on Grotenthaler. Under 40 to go. Youngstown State looks a little bit too high, but did she keep it in? She did. Still remains in play.
Peck.
Brooke Peck now trying to find an open woman, but cannot. Grotenthaler now trying to make a play. Too much there by Duquesne. 2 defenders. Jenna Cook now
Jenna
for
Cook
Youngstown
almost
State.
launched another long-range shot.
Here's the opportunity. Too much as Youngstown State will celebrate. It looks like it was a called foul on Duquesne. They'll have a free position opportunity, but you can see Katie Grotenthaler, hands on hips. She is starting to lose momentum.
She's gassed.
But this is it. This is for the tie.
Take a deep breath, young lady. You have got the shot of the night here. 20 seconds left, 12-11.
This is it for Youngstown State. Can they do it? And they cannot. Too far to the wide, but they got it back in. No one there. Off the hands of Sweeney. Youngstown State can still keep it in play. Did they?
And it will be in
not.
possession of Duquesne, and Brooke Peck nearly saved the game there with that last-second goal, but a great save by Sweeney, who just about ended here in the Watts. 3 seconds to go. And that will do it. What a game we saw here in the Watson and Trestle training site. 11-12. Wow.
What a game. You want to talk about offensive firepower. That is where it's been for Youngstown State and Duquesne. What a play. You saw Youngstown State fight back. They tried and scored as much as they possibly could, but this defense for Duquesne, they have faltered, but they stood up when it meant the most. Just watch this play right here by Youngstown State. They had the right idea, too far to the left, but how about this? Youngstown State comes back for reinforcements.
Nearly saves the day. Brooke Peck tried to sneak it by Sweeney, but that 6-foot frame gets her just what she needs. What a play. What an ending to this game.
And if I'm Coach Coyne, one of the players I'm looking at right now, really to give the game ball to, is Corgan Sweeney. You come in for Megan LeBourne. You make a tremendous amount of saves as a freshman. You're 6 foot tall. You have athleticism. Game on your back. If you were to let that goal up, it would go into overtime. You potentially, and you did, win Duquesne the game.
Yeah, the defense won the championship, John, here tonight, and that's what we talk about. Defense wins championships. Tonight it did. Sweeney earning her stripes, getting some of those helmet stickers, as they say. But what a game we saw from these two teams.
And Duquesne, they're going to have a tall task, especially going up against A-10 conference play. And when you look at the statistical numbers, all of the categories, Youngstown State 21 shots on goal, but only 11 goals to show for it. That is really a statistical stat line you do not see a lot of. And it's that defense for Duquesne.
Absolutely not from Youngstown State. I mean, coming into the game, they had 50% shooting percentage, which was first in the MAC, but today just did not go that way. 21 shots on goal and 11 goals to show for it. But what a great game from both sides, and the draw controls really ended up helping Duquesne and finishing this one off.
Well, as the clock strikes 0, that will conclude today's game. For Dylan Lux and our entire broadcast team, I'm John Ostapowicz saying so long from inside the Watts in Youngstown, Ohio, where the final score is 12-11 as the Dukes beat the Penguins. All lacrosse matches, of course, are airing on the YSU Athletics YouTube channel and are archived in our live section of our page. This has been a presentation of YSU Athletics.